Hi, it's Trish Buchanan here for Remax Professionals. So I just wanted to talk to you about being a first-time home buyer and the things that you need to know in order to be able to acquire a mortgage and to purchase a home. So a lot of us are a lot more savvy today in knowing exactly what we need to do, but there are lots of people that don't know, or they're a little bit, shocked when they do find out. So this should actually help you. So first off is having a lack of poor credit. So if your credit's poor, the banks are going to be really hard up on you, and as if they're going to actually want to lend you the money. So credit is probably number one when you're looking for a mortgage. Number two is not knowing what you can afford. So that's why you must speak to your bank or an independent broker, which I work a lot with because they can typically help you with some better rates. So once you go to the bank, they're able to tell you based on your salary and your debts and everything exactly what you can afford and to live within your means. And as you know, there's a lot of rules and regulations now that are with the banking industry that they have put some restrictions on there so that because they want us to be able to afford your monthly payments, right? Thirdly, a lack of cash. Not having enough money set aside for a deposit, for your lawyer, perhaps it could be for a home inspection. There's all things that are that you perhaps aren't aware of on closing. You have adjustments and taxes that maybe the previous owners had paid and you've got to pay them back. So all of these things on the front end is very much, you should know these things. So if you're in a lease and you want to buy a home, I've helped lots of people get out of leases, but typically there's a penalty to that lease, and you want to be free and clear of the lease. You don't want to sublet, to be honest. So, but you might have to just lose a month's rent. That's an additional to your last month's rent, because if they're going to put it back on MLS and go through a realtor, they're gonna lose a month's rent. So that's kind of the angle that I come from, is to help the landlord. There is that penalty. Next, being committed, with your search. Some people go in it haphazardly, and they're not really committed. So when you know you're really committed to the search, you'll find what you're looking for. Also, having a wish list. What's on that wish list of what you'd like in a home once you know what you can afford. So, oftentimes, including myself, when I bought my first home, and I'm still in my first home because I love it, but on that wish list, you may not get everything on that wish list, and you're going to have to realize that very quickly, because the market moves quite fast for some homes, some price points, and some areas. So sometimes we can't live in the area that we'd like to live in because mom and dad grew up there, and you're going to have to move a little bit further out of the city because you can't afford where they're at right now. But remember, it took them a while to get where they're at. So it doesn't mean that we get to start there where our parents were. So, if you can't find that home, you just have to be patient. So also, you have to think about your deposit. Do you have less than 20%? Or do you have a little bit, or do you just have the 20%, which is great. I mean, if you have less than 20%, you just have to qualify for CMHC. So again, the bank will tell you all about that. It's an additional insurance that it's built into your mortgage payment, so you don't see it. I was a CMHC person when I first bought my home, and it hasn't affected me. I mean, actually, it's kind of security. So, but over the 20%, you don't need that CMHC insurance policy built into your mortgage, and it could cost you like another $10,000 or $15,000 depending on what you can afford to buy. So. And then nextly, it's finding the realtor that, fits your needs and that you can actually work with, and knowing that they're going to be there for you, and vice versa. You too have to be flexible, because sometimes I see something today because I'm on Treb all the time, and I'll pick up the phone and or email or text my client and say, hey, this great house came out today, and we should go see it tonight. Things like that, because we have to drop, stop, and roll like when we see a property that we think suits your needs. Because after we show you a few property, we actually get to know you and your likes and your dislikes. And if I can start to see what I think myself, that yourself living in there, like we're rocking, that's usually when I know that this is the house for my clients anyhow. So you know, you always have to have that little bit of leeway or give at work and be able to check your emails, or you know, or your texts, whatever. You know, when you're in that home stretch there of looking, or you think you're coming down down to something. Don't get emotionally attached to a house that you see because of the kitchen or the bathrooms or the renovations or whatever. Because if that's not the home, there will be a home for you. So you can't always worry about, oh, I saw that home and it was great and I wish I had gotten that one. Because personally, I just think like that wasn't the home for you. The home that we're going to get is the home that was meant for you to have. So, but no, you can keep in your mind that what you liked, what you saw for renovations, which is always great, right? So, you know, another thing is, you know, when you have a home purchase as well, being a first-time buyer and no experience, a lot of them have pre-home inspections now. You know, you can either run with that and work with that in an offer, or you can actually, you know, get your own home inspector to come in and inspect a home. And of course, then there's a financing condition, which, you know, I've seen no financing conditions, but right now, I think it's important that you always have a finance condition, because you want the bank to be able to say to you that, yes, they're going to approve that price and they're going to loan you the money for that. Because if you don't have that finance clause in there in that offer, and the bank doesn't appraise it at that price, you're on the hook for the difference. So, and if you don't have that $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 difference, you know, and you've just signed a legal binding document, you know, and that's what having a realtor working solely for you is. Now, for me as a realtor, it depends on how long I've known a person, but I also, sorry here, I'm just reaching for something. We have what's called a buyer's representation agreement. And here's the agreement. You can see it in the, okay. Oh, sorry, it's upside down. So, this is a buyer's representation agreement. And what that is, it's an agreement between me and you, and or your partner, whoever it is. And basically what it says is that you're hiring me to represent you in a transaction. Now, as a buyer, you typically don't pay us, the seller pays. But, you know, when I have a buyer's agreement signed, that just takes us to the next level of, you know, of workmanship and what we're going to do for you. I mean, I work 100% anyhow, but it's like, it's just a little extra security, because if I don't have that signed, you know, I just don't think you're that serious about purchasing. And you know, you can walk into an open house one weekend and I could have shown you for 6 months, and all of a sudden you say, oh, you know, gee, I like this house, I'll put an offer in on it, and you didn't call me. So it's a lot of work that goes into setting up searches, taking you out, going through, you know, tons of homes, you know, in all different weather conditions, and sometimes putting in more than one offer on a home. And, you know, it's a lot of work that we do, and we don't get paid until the home closes. So, you know, that's the reward for us, is not until after it closes. So if you have any other questions about being a first-time buyer, and condos are another story too. So I'll do another video on buyers for condos. So anyhow, if you'd like to have a conversation, please pick up the phone and call me at 416-471-9175. I'd be happy to talk to you about any of your purchasing, or even if this is an investing property. It doesn't matter what it is as a buyer. You could be a repeat buyer, but you know, because rules do change as well for repeat buyers. So love to chat with you and see where you're at in your search, and, you know, hopefully go from there. And, you know, you can just like and subscribe to my channel, and as I get new videos uploaded and they pertain to you, you can watch them. If you'd like me to talk about something else, just hit that button too and let me know what it is you'd like to talk about. Okay, looking forward to hearing from some of you. Bye for now.